Welcome to our deep dive into project scoping techniques. Before any project can truly begin, it's crucial to define its boundaries and objectives. Project scoping is the process that sets the stage for everything that follows, ensuring everyone involved understands what needs to be achieved and what's out of scope. In this video, we'll explore proven methods and practical tips to help you master project scoping, avoid common pitfalls, and set your team up for success. Let's start by understanding why scoping is the foundation of every successful project and how it can save time, money, and resources down the line. Finding the project scope means clearly outlining what will be delivered and what will not. This step involves gathering input from stakeholders, understanding their needs, and translating those needs into specific deliverables. A well-defined scope prevents misunderstandings and scope creep, which can derail even the best planned projects. By setting clear boundaries, you give your team a roadmap to follow and a way to measure progress. Let's look at some techniques to help you define your project's scope effectively. Stakeholder analysis is a crucial technique in project scoping. It involves identifying everyone who has an interest in the project, from clients to team members, and understanding their expectations. By mapping out stakeholders and their influence, you can prioritize requirements and address concerns early. This process helps ensure that the project scope aligns with business goals and user needs, reducing the risk of surprises later on. Let's explore how to conduct a thorough stakeholder analysis for your next project. Requirements gathering is the process of collecting all the needs and expectations for a project. This can be done through interviews, surveys, workshops, or observation. The goal is to capture both functional and non-functional requirements, ensuring nothing important is missed. Effective requirements gathering leads to a comprehensive scope document, which serves as a reference throughout the project. Let's discuss some best practices for gathering requirements efficiently and accurately. Setting SMART goals is a popular technique in project scoping. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. By applying this framework, you ensure that project objectives are clear and attainable. SMART goals help teams focus on what matters most and provide a basis for tracking progress. Let's break down each element of SMART and see how it can be applied to your project scope. Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS, is a visual tool that breaks the project into smaller, manageable parts. By decomposing the project into tasks and subtasks, you can assign responsibilities, estimate resources, and track progress more effectively. WBS helps teams see the big picture while focusing on individual components. Let's look at how to create a WBS and why it's so valuable in project scoping. Scope statement is a formal document that summarizes the project's objectives, deliverables, boundaries, and constraints. It serves as a contract between stakeholders and the project team, ensuring everyone is on the same page. A clear scope statement reduces ambiguity and provides a reference point for decision-making throughout the project. Let's discuss the key elements of a strong scope statement and how to draft one effectively. Scope creep happens when new requirements are added without proper evaluation, leading to delays and budget overruns. Preventing scope creep starts with a well-defined scope and continues with strict change control processes. Regularly reviewing the scope with stakeholders and documenting all changes helps keep the project on track. Let's explore strategies to prevent scope creep and maintain project focus. Change control process is essential for managing modifications to the project scope. This process involves evaluating proposed changes, assessing their impact, and obtaining approval before implementation. By following a structured approach, you can ensure that only necessary changes are made and that they don't disrupt the project's progress. Let's look at the steps involved in an effective change control process. Project Charter is a foundational document that authorizes the project and outlines its objectives, stakeholders, and high-level requirements. It provides clarity and direction from the start, ensuring everyone understands the project's purpose. A strong project charter supports effective scoping by setting expectations and providing a reference for future decisions. Let's discuss how to create a project charter that sets your project up for success. Every project operates under certain assumptions and constraints. Assumptions are things you believe to be true for planning purposes, while constraints are limitations you must work within, such as budget or time. Identifying these early helps you anticipate risks and avoid surprises. Let's explore how to document assumptions and constraints as part of your project scope. Scope validation is the process of reviewing deliverables with stakeholders to ensure they meet requirements. This step helps catch misunderstandings early and builds confidence in the project's direction. Regular validation sessions keep everyone aligned and reduce the risk of rework. Let's look at best practices for validating project scope throughout the project lifecycle. Scope management plan outlines how the project scope will be defined, validated, and controlled. It provides a roadmap for managing changes and ensuring the project stays on track. By documenting your approach, you help the team understand their roles and responsibilities. Let's discuss the components of a comprehensive scope management plan. Involving your team in the scoping process leads to better outcomes. Team members bring valuable insights and can help identify potential challenges early. Collaborative scoping sessions foster ownership and commitment, making it easier to deliver on project goals. Let's explore ways to engage your team during project scoping. Not all requirements are equally important. Setting priorities helps you focus on what delivers the most value. Techniques like MOSCOW, must have, should have, could have, won't have can help you categorize requirements and make tough decisions. Let's discuss how to set priorities and manage stakeholder expectations. Risk assessment is an essential part of project scoping. By identifying potential risks early, you can develop mitigation strategies and avoid surprises. Common risks include unclear requirements, resource shortages, or changing priorities. Let's look at how to conduct a risk assessment and incorporate findings into your project scope. Scope baseline is a fixed reference point that includes the approved scope statement, WBS, and WBS dictionary. It serves as the standard for measuring project performance and managing changes. Establishing a scope baseline helps ensure everyone is working toward the same goals. Let's discuss how to create and use a scope baseline effectively. Communication plan outlines how information will be shared among stakeholders throughout the project. Clear communication is vital for managing expectations and ensuring everyone stays informed about scope changes. Let's explore how to develop an effective communication plan as part of your project scoping process. Documenting the project scope is essential for clarity and accountability. Good documentation includes objectives, deliverables, exclusions, and acceptance criteria. It serves as a reference for the team and stakeholders, reducing confusion and disputes. Let's look at best practices for documenting your project scope. Scope exclusions are items or tasks that are explicitly not included in the project. Clearly stating exclusions helps manage stakeholder expectations and prevents misunderstandings. By documenting what's out of scope, you reduce the risk of scope creep and keep the project focused. Let's discuss how to identify and communicate scope exclusions. Acceptance criteria are the conditions that must be met for deliverables to be accepted by stakeholders. Defining these criteria upfront ensures everyone agrees on what success looks like. Clear acceptance criteria help avoid disputes and guide the team's work. Let's explore how to develop strong acceptance criteria for your project. Regular scope review meetings help keep the project on track. These meetings provide an opportunity to discuss progress, address issues, and make necessary adjustments. By involving stakeholders in scope reviews, you ensure ongoing alignment and reduce the risk of surprises. Let's discuss how to run effective scope review meetings. Capturing lessons learned from previous projects can improve your scoping process. By reviewing what worked and what didn't, you can refine your techniques and avoid repeating mistakes. Lessons learned sessions foster a culture of continuous improvement. Let's explore how to incorporate lessons learned into your project scoping. Engaging stakeholders throughout the project ensures their needs are met and builds support for the project. Regular communication, feedback sessions, and involvement in decision-making are key to successful engagement. Let's discuss strategies for keeping stakeholders engaged during project scoping. Scope change log is a record of all changes made to the project scope. Keeping a detailed log helps track the history of changes, reasons for each change, and their impact on the project. This transparency supports accountability and informed decision-making. Let's look at how to maintain an effective scope change log. There are many tools available to help manage project scope, from spreadsheets to specialized software. These tools can help you document requirements, track changes, and communicate with stakeholders. Choosing the right tool depends on your project's size and complexity. Let's explore some popular scope management tools and their features. Agile projects use iterative scoping techniques such as user stories and backlogs to define and manage scope. These methods allow for flexibility and continuous improvement as the project evolves. Agile scoping emphasizes collaboration and regular feedback. Let's discuss how Agile techniques can enhance your project scoping process. In traditional waterfall projects, scoping is done up front and changes are minimized. Detailed documentation and strict change control are key features of this approach. Waterfall scoping works best for projects with well-understood requirements. Let's explore the strengths and limitations of waterfall scoping techniques. Some projects benefit from a hybrid approach combining Agile and waterfall techniques. This allows teams to leverage the strengths of both methods, adapting to changing requirements while maintaining structure. Hybrid scoping can be tailored to fit your project's unique needs. Let's discuss how to implement a hybrid scoping approach. Accurate estimation is critical for effective project scoping. Techniques like expert judgment, analogous estimating, and parametric estimating can help you predict effort, time, and cost. Good estimates support realistic planning and resource allocation. Let's explore different estimation techniques and when to use them. Resource planning involves identifying the people, equipment, and materials needed to deliver the project. By planning resources early, you can avoid shortages and ensure the project runs smoothly. Resource planning is closely tied to scope, as changes in scope often impact resource needs. Let's discuss how to align resource planning with project scoping. Developing a project timeline involves mapping out tasks, dependencies, and milestones. A clear timeline helps manage expectations and keeps the team focused on priorities. Timeline development is an integral part of scoping, as it translates requirements into actionable steps. Let's look at how to create an effective project timeline. Budgeting is closely linked to project scope. By estimating costs for each deliverable, you can create a realistic budget and avoid surprises. Budget overruns often result from poorly defined scope or uncontrolled changes. Let's discuss how to develop a budget that aligns with your project scope. Quality planning ensures that project deliverables meet the required standards. By defining quality criteria during scoping, you set clear expectations for the team. Quality planning includes identifying metrics, standards, and review processes. Let's explore how to integrate quality planning into your project scope. Dependencies are tasks or deliverables that rely on others to be completed first. Identifying and managing dependencies during scoping helps prevent delays and ensures a smooth workflow. Let's discuss techniques for mapping and managing dependencies in your project. Negotiating scope is often necessary when resources are limited or stakeholder expectations differ. Effective negotiation involves balancing priorities, finding compromises, and maintaining focus on project goals. Let's explore strategies for successful scope negotiation. Scope approval is the formal sign-off by stakeholders that the project's scope is agreed upon. This step ensures everyone is aligned and committed to the plan. Obtaining approval reduces the risk of disputes and provides a clear starting point for execution. Let's discuss how to facilitate scope approval effectively. Monitoring the project scope throughout execution helps catch deviations early and keep the project on track. Regular monitoring involves reviewing progress, comparing it to the scope baseline, and addressing issues as they arise. Let's explore best practices for scope monitoring. Scope reporting involves communicating the status of the project scope to stakeholders. Regular reports keep everyone informed and support transparency. Effective scope reporting includes updates on deliverables, changes, and risks. Let's discuss how to create clear and informative scope reports. Scope closure is the process of finalizing all project activities and confirming that deliverables meet acceptance criteria. This step ensures nothing is left unfinished and that stakeholders are satisfied. Proper scope closure supports project handover and lessons learned. Let's look at how to close the project scope effectively. Continuous improvement means regularly reviewing and refining your scoping techniques. By seeking feedback and analyzing outcomes, you can enhance your processes and deliver better results in future projects. Let's discuss how to foster a culture of continuous improvement in project scoping. Even experienced teams can fall into common scoping pitfalls, such as unclear requirements, lack of stakeholder involvement, or inadequate documentation. Recognizing these pitfalls helps you avoid them and keep your project on track. Let's explore some of the most common scoping mistakes and how to prevent them. Let's look at a real-world example of successful project scoping. In this case, the team used stakeholder analysis, SMART goals, and regular scope reviews to deliver a complex project on time and within budget. By following best practices, they avoided scope creep and exceeded stakeholder expectations. This case study highlights the value of effective scoping techniques. Now let's examine a project where poor scoping led to challenges. The team failed to define clear deliverables and didn't involve all stakeholders, resulting in missed deadlines and budget overruns. This example shows how important it is to apply proper scoping techniques from the start. Learning from these challenges can help you avoid similar issues. Conclusion: mastering project scoping techniques is essential for project success. By defining clear objectives, involving stakeholders, and managing changes effectively, you set your team up for a smooth journey from start to finish. Remember to document everything, review progress regularly, and always seek ways to improve. With these techniques, you'll be ready to tackle any project with confidence. Thank you for joining us on this journey through project scoping.